Welcome to Cafdil Healthcare here on Cafdil Television. Today we're going to talk about good eating habits. And I want to ask, how do you eat? And when do you eat? And what actually do you eat? This and many more is what we're going to talk about it today. So you can stay healthy. Stay with us with your book and your pen. Write, jot down anything, plan your meal, and see from henceforth how you are going to feel. My guests are seated already here. I have Yvonne Opoku and Baba Annan. They are all dietitians from Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. Ladies, you are welcome.
Thank you.
The way they are shining, it means yes, they've eaten. And before we delve into this good eating habit, let me ask, when you wake up from bed, Yvonne, how many hours does it take for you to eat? That is what we call breakfast. Do you have a specific hours that you should, spend before you eat?
Okay, thank you for the question. So ideally, we advise that when you wake up from bed, within the first 2 hours, you should get something to fill your tummy. Because we assume that over the night that you slept, your body was in a fasted mode, that there was no food that the body was receiving. And we should also bear in mind that the fact that the body was not having anything to feed on doesn't mean that it was not using up energy. We have something that we call resting metabolic rate or resting metabolic energy. That's the energy that is required during the resting period. So when you are resting, we assume that your blood is also working. It's pumping out blood to other parts of the body. That there's energy that is being used for. When you are sleeping, you breathe. So the body also needs that energy to breathe. So during those times, we assume that the body is using up energy. So when you wake up, within the first 2 hours, you should take your first meal. That is the breakfast.
Baba, do you have a specific meal that you should take within that first 2 periods? So if, for example, I wake up at 3 o'clock a.m., so by 5 I have to take in something.
Yes.
What is required of me to take?
Okay, so there's no particular meal set aside to say strictly you are supposed to take this particular meal for only breakfast. You can't take it anyhow, or you are not supposed to take this particular meal for breakfast because of so and so. You can take any meal of your choice, any meal you feel like eating for breakfast. It doesn't have to be porridges or just the beverages. If you wake up in the morning and you feel for some rice, some banku, some fufu, you can take it as breakfast. Yes.
Oh, okay. But does it also do you have to take into consideration the kind of work that you do?
Yes.
So if I'm a mason, I'm a carpenter, I do construction. What would be the appropriate for me to eat?
Okay, so thank you for mentioning that. As I said, there's no particular meal, but if you know yourself and you know the kind of activities your body will be carrying out through the day, you should know that if, for example, you work at a construction site, you should know that the drinking beverages won't be enough to provide your body with the energy that is required for you to expend or for you to use during the day. So you have to go for something heavier, something that will provide your body with the required energy for the day's physical activities or for the day's activities. Yes, so if you work at a construction site and you take, let's say, tea and bread for breakfast, it wouldn't be enough. When you start working, within 2 hours or 3 hours, you start feeling hungry again because the exercise or the activity is more than, you've expended a lot of energy, more than what your body took in. There's something we call energy balance. The energy that is taken inside the body should be equivalent or should be equal to the energy that is being expended out. If you expend a lot of energy more than what you are taking in, you're likely to lose weight. in the sense that the food you're taking in is smaller than the exercise or the physical activity that you are bringing out. Or in the same way to vice versa, if you are taking more or you eat a lot, but you have very low physical activity.
Like bankers?
Yes, bankers, vendors, they sit down like most of the day, they are just sitting. They don't expend any serious activity. Your body is not going to use up the energy that has to go out. So you realize you start gaining weight. Yes.
But before we delve into the main topic again, I want to understand this. Yvonne, we know breakfasts, like you mentioned. We have what you call brunch, lunch, and supper, right? So do you have specific times for these things and specific? Okay, you've dealt with the breakfast where you said we don't have. So what about the brunch, lunch, and supper? Yvonne, do you have specific food for that?
Okay, so specific food, no, because taking into consideration your activity level, we assume that you are supposed, just as my sister said, you are supposed to give your body what is going to expend. So if I'm a sedentary worker and then I know that I'm not going to use up a lot of energy for activities, it means that I should take in food that is going to meet my requirements. So we have something that we calculate, that's the energy needs that everybody has to take in, and we call it the caloric intake. So with that, we are going to use your height, your weight, your physical activity level, and then your age, and then we are going to calculate the amount of energy that you are going to use during the 24 hours. So let's say you are supposed to take 2,000 calories. So maybe in the morning I will take 1,000 because of the work that I'm going to do. Then maybe in the afternoon I'll decide to take 500, making 1,005, and then in the evening I'll decide to take another 500. So depending on the activity level, it guides you in choosing the type of food and then the quantity that you are going to take. So let's take another example, somebody who works during the night. So let's say a fisherman. We know that when we bring in the time ranges, it sort of help us in practicing good eating meal timings. Yes, because you can't just eat anything at any time. So that is why we give that time range, but ideally it's supposed to be individualized. So a fisherman like this who will be going to the sea during the night, you can't say that he shouldn't eat because he's going to use up energy. So it means that he has to get in energy so that he can expend it. So the time factor, we give it for the average person. Yeah, so that it will actually guide you on how to eat, so that you will not be eating a lot. So that when we say you are supposed to eat your breakfast within 6 to 8, you know that, oh, then it means in the morning I'm supposed to eat one. Now in the afternoon maybe 12 to 1. It means that within those periods you are supposed to eat, and then in the evening maybe from 5 or 4 to 5. Latest by that time you should be able to you should have finished your meal. So giving that time range actually guides the individual on the time to eat, and then the type of meals to eat, and even the number of times to eat, so that you will not eat as and when you feel like eating. Because as she said, the energy input is equal to the energy output. So if you are not guided and then, oh, I'll eat whatever I feel like eating at any time, you are going to disturb your body. So that time range is actually there to guide us, but it doesn't really it's not really constant, because when you come to us, we do an individualized care. So what we are saying is just for the average person. But then when you come to our consulting room, we actually give an individualized care, so that whatever I'll tell my sister won't be the same thing that I'll tell my other sister, depending on their conditions. Yes, so we are free to choose whatever food that we want to eat at a particular meal sitting, bearing in mind of the kind of activity that we are going to do.
So that is what is called a 3 square meal. Or that one too is different. The timing and stuff that you say.
Yes,
taking
yes,
the 3 square
Okay.
meal.
yes.
Okay. So that result in 3. So if someone cannot afford a 3 square meal, which means you cannot get the first, second, and third, morning, afternoon, evening. But is it by force that if I eat in the morning, I feel like in the afternoon I don't feel like eating? What happens?
Okay, so that is where we have something like the brunch. Yes, so that's where you can combine your breakfast and then your lunch together. And also we should bear in mind that when we are giving our consult, we take into consideration the financial aspect
that
of
is
the
very
person.
important.
Yes, so generally when we come out, we'll give the general talk or the general advice that we would wish that everyone will follow. But then when you come in for the diet consult, that is where we are able to perform our assessment. And in our assessment, we take into consideration your social history. So we are going to ask if you can actually afford, because you can't tell somebody to eat a 3 square meal when the person does not even have that capacity. Yes, so when you come into our consulting room, we take into consideration everything that would help in making you eat healthier.
Healthy. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Yvonne, Baba, Yvonne mentioned of calories. I have my old lady at the village. I mean, calories. How is he going to know that what I am taking, I've taken 2,000 calories or 1,000 calories? How my old lady is going to know all this?
Okay, so when we say calories are basically the energy we get from eating.
Okay.
Yes, so the energy that the body takes from foods, that is what we term as kilocalories.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so if it's not compulsory that everyone is supposed to know that, oh, I'm supposed to take 1,005 calories per day, or I'm supposed to take 2,000. It was just an example she gave, right? So as she said, it's individualized. When you come and see a personalized, like a dietitian, that is when the dietitian will do all those calculations and know that, oh, patient A or client A is supposed to take 1,200 calories per day. Your body is not the same as patient's S body. I don't know if you...
Yeah,
yes.
I get it.
Everyone's...
Your body is not like my
yes,
body.
everyone's body is different. So if you just want to have an idea of what type of foods will give me the appropriate calories, first of all, I think it is necessary to study your body. Obviously, if you are grown, you've been eating for years, so you should know your own eating patterns. You should know what makes you gain weight, what makes you lose weight. Sometimes you should know what will just put your weight, you can just maintain weight. Later, you can see a dietitian for a technical opinion. So if you just want to have an idea, we would suggest that you should first have an idea of what a balanced diet is, right? Every single thing you are eating should be balanced. You shouldn't take more than another. For example, if you are eating, you're supposed to have a balanced portion of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, and then the other nutrients should also be present. You shouldn't have a meal with one missing. When that happens, your diet is not balanced or your meal is not balanced. So for example, if I'm eating rice and cabbage stew with chicken, we call something the my plate strategy, right?
We will come there.
Okay.
We will come to my plate. But if you just tune in, you're watching Cafdil Healthcare here on Cafdil Television with me, Kojo Arthur, and my guests as well. We are talking about good eating habits. And let me remind you that we are also on social media, Facebook and on YouTube. Facebook is Cafdil Cape Coast and YouTube is Cafdil Edu, EDU. You go there, you follow us, you share, then you leave your comment. So let's delve into what we are supposed to talk about. Let me start with you, Baba. When we talk about good eating habits, what is it?
Okay, so
Per all what you guys have said.
yeah, so basically, good eating habits is not only about the type of foods we are supposed to be taking, but it boils down to the frequency at which we are taking these foods, the quantity of the food we are taking, the portion sizes, whether it's small or whether it's a lot. It boils down to the timing, the meal timing, the times at which we are taking these particular meals. It boils down to how we are even preparing these meals. If everything is on point, you have a good eating habit. But if one or two of them are somewhat inappropriate, there's a question mark somewhere. Yes, so good eating habits is basically eating or is basically having a meal pattern where you consume a lot of diets that nourish your body, that give your body the necessary nutrients it needs to go through daily activities, to build your body, to repair your body in case of sickness or whatsoever. It just means that you are providing your body what it needs, the nutrients it needs to be able to survive, and not bring in sicknesses and all forms of malnourishment.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yvonne, I want you to give us some effective tips for incorporating more fruits and vegetables into our daily diets. In your intro, you made mention of this kind of fruits and vegetables, and give us some tips, effective one.
Okay, so one of the ways that we can incorporate fruits and vegetables into our meals is that we can add fruits to our beverages or our morning meal. So let's say something like banana. You can just cut them into your oats and then you can take them. And then we can also go in for the fruit juices.
Okay, hold on. Before you continue, like you said, you cut the banana, you slice them, you put them into your oats.
Yes, please.
With the milk and everything.
Yes, please.
Hey, really?
Yes.
I hope you are writing. Jot them down, because this is my first time of hearing adding banana into your oats.
Yes.
Wow. Go ahead.
All right. So you can also turn or blend your fruits into juices. So instead of maybe going for the raw ones, you can just blend them and then turn them into juices. You can also prepare smoothies with your fruits, and then you can also, with the vegetables, you can also incorporate more. Let's say when you are doing something like the spaghetti, we've seen that it's one of the foods that most of the youth are now enjoying. So we not prevent them, but make sure that you have a lot of vegetables in there. And then you can also prepare vegetable salad, where you put it at the side of your main meals and then you take them. You can also do sauteed vegetables. Some people find it difficult to chew the raw ones, so you can just saute them with a little bit of oil to make it soft for you to eat. Yes, and then you can also go in, you can choose your snacks, you can choose your fruits as your snacks, rather than going in for the beverages like the soft drinks and then the others. So instead of going in for that, you can just replace that with your fruits. So those are some of the strategies that you could actually take up.
Okay, I will try one. I will try to add the banana. Is it the local one or the foreign one?
Anyone that you want.
Some of us don't like the foreign one, because if you eat, you will vomit. Yes. Is there a problem if you eat the foreign banana, then you vomit, or you feel like vomiting?
I think
does that mean you have a problem, or
no? It's just it's either your body doesn't tolerate it.
Okay.
That one is more technical and more medical.
All right.
Yeah.
So, Baba, nowadays a lot of people order foods from outside and stuff. So I want you to share with us some strategies for making healthier choices when ordering those food from outside.
Okay. So first of all, I believe mindfulness is a strong point, because you won't expect someone who has no knowledge on healthful choices to choose healthful choices. It's when the person knows. That's when the person can select the best. So I think, first of all, it's necessary for all individuals should have a little bit of, if not a little, more of the, nutrition literacy. They should know what these foods can do for them. They should know about the foods that are not good for them. So that if they go out and they have maybe the menu, they won't select what is not good for them, right? Yes. So that's like the first point. Now, if you have that knowledge and then you are about to select, based on your knowledge, right, you should select foods that are more of the fibrous, that have more fiber content, or that are more fibrous. For example, if you are buying fried rice from outside, right, I'm sure you can have the option to request for more vegetables, right? Even though some fried rice have some, vegetables inside the rice, but we can both attest to the fact that it's not enough. Yes, so you can even buy more salad. You can request that, oh, please, my rice, maybe if, let's say, the standard is, let's say, 3 stew ladles, make mine 2 stew ladles, and the other remaining ladle, give it to me as vegetables. I mean, it depends on the individual, right? And if you are choosing if you are choosing meals, I think it's best if you go for actual meals. You don't go for junk foods, right? You don't go for foods that contain a lot of oil. That's, for example, let me use these outside foods like the pavlov and the kose. Sometimes if you put it in a tissue and you squeeze it, the oil that comes out. So someone like this, if let's say you feel like taking Hausa cocoa, you can choose to buy wheat bread in addition to the Hausa cocoa than going for the pavlov and then the kose and the rest.
Do you know the pavlov? We call it buffruit. Yes, it's, if you don't know pavlov, that is it. That's what she is talking about, buffruit. Yeah, continue. Yes,
and for example, if it's awache, you can go for more vegetables in addition to the wache you buy, and maybe limit buying excess gari or excess spaghetti, because your rice and beans is already carbohydrates. You don't need a meal that contains more carbohydrates, more starchy carbohydrates than the non-starchy carbohydrates. We have 2 types. The starchy carbohydrates, there's no fiber inside. It's very smooth, and then it doesn't really contain a lot of fiber. And we want foods that contain a lot of fiber because we are more versed with the benefits that fiber can help with the body. Fiber has a lot of benefits. I don't know if I should delve into it now or it would be at a different section.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so we suggest that you choose foods that have more fiber content because of the benefits of fiber, as I said. So fiber does a lot of things for the body. Fiber serves as a form of, excuse my language, I just want it to be more understandable. Fiber serves like a traffic light, right? You see, when cars are moving on the road, the traffic light serves as, let's say, it brakes. Yes, it regulates the speed, right? The cars all don't go continuously at one point. So in a case where we eat foods that contain unhealthy fats, that contain added sugars, added salts, sodium and excess, the fiber serves as a medium to stop the rate at which these unhealthy contents enter the blood. So the fiber limits it, or the fiber restricts it. And the fiber also serves as a form of, we can imagine a foam or a cotton wool. If we soak cotton wool or foam into water, it kind of sucks all the water out and then we can discard it. Fiber does the same way. So if we maybe eat foods, or we've been eating foods that contain unhealthy fats, unhealthy sugars, added sugars, sodium, high salt foods, if we start taking high fiber diets or foods that contain a lot of fiber, it can help to suck or to absorb all these salt, sugar, excess salt, sugar, unhealthy fats in our body, and then it passes it out as feces. So then they don't remain in the body. The fiber helps takes it all out. And the fiber also helps to loosen bowel. For example, if you are suffering from constipation, if you take a diet that has high fiber, it will help you have a smooth bowel. Yeah.
You know, children sometimes growing up, they don't like eating. Yeah, if you give them some particular food, they will sometimes, if you give them that
vegetables,
vegetable, they will be throwing them away. So I want you to, how can we encourage those children to develop healthy eating habits from that young age?
Yeah, so I believe that children pick up fast, right? Children copy what they see.
Yes.
Because they are now learning. So I believe if nutrition education could start from childhood, it will really go a long way. In the sense that if, let's say, you start, talking to the children that, oh, fruits can do this for you, fruits help you grow, fruits, you just try and, it won't come all at once. The child won't start eating it all at once. But you don't have to stop there. If you realize that your child doesn't like vegetables, you don't have to keep trying. You have to still talk to the child. Vegetables are good for you. Vegetables help you not get sick. Vegetables prevent diseases. The more they hear of it, the more they tune their mind.
And the more they see you eat.
Yes, exactly. Because they are always picking up from what they see. So if they see that their parents or their teachers or their friends or their which environment they find themselves, if they see that the person is doing that, they see that, let's say a child sees her mom eating fruits every day. Sometimes children will not even eat the food you give to them in their bowl, but they want the one on your plate. They want to eat from your plate. If the mother is eating, the child wants to eat the food they are eating. So just imagine if the mother is eating healthy. The mother has a lot of vegetables, a lot of fruits on her plate, and she's eating. The child will also want to eat, and then the child picks it up from there. Now, if you introduce variety to your child too, it sticks. You don't say, oh, maybe I tried giving my child beans, or I tried giving my child contomere, and then he didn't like it, or she didn't like it, so my child doesn't like, so you don't try again. The child 1 month today is not the child the next month, or the child 2 months old. If you are introducing family foods to our children, we should always keep trying. If in January your child didn't like beans, try again in February. But don't say, oh, my child just takes porridges, so that is it. Or just takes jollof. So every single day, jollof and chicken, no other varieties. The more the child is limited to these healthful options, the less the body is receiving the nutrients that will help them grow. If you tune the child's mind to that, with time, it won't come automatically, but with time, the child will begin to adapt to these healthful options. Yeah.
So, Yvonne, Baba made mention of balanced diet initially, and I think that one also goes with portion size. So I want you to tell us the role portion size play in maintaining a balanced diet, and how can we better control them as well.
Okay, so a balanced diet, as defined, is a diet that contains the right amount of nutrients in their right quantities. So bearing in mind that I need protein, I need fat, I need carbohydrates, we should also bear in mind that in as much as I need fat, in as much as I need carbohydrates, in as much as I need protein, I need them in some quantity which would actually benefit my body. So this is where portion sizes comes in, or portion control comes in. So you can say that since I have protein, I have fat, my food is balanced. No, but we can say it's not balanced because maybe your fat is more than your protein, and then maybe your carbohydrate is more than your protein. So in balancing our diet, we have to make sure that our portion sizes too are also in check. So one of the ways that we can actually one of the things that we can do to control our portion sizes is that when we use handy measures. So when you come to our field, we have some things that we call handy measures. So they are just like cups or ladles. So we use this to measure. So if, let's say, we are saying that you are supposed to take 500 calories for your breakfast, we are quantifying it. So that when you take 2 steel ladles of rice, this is the amount of calories that I'm getting. So that when you take 1 cup of drink or 1 cup of fruit juice, this is the amount of calories that I'm taking. So we have something that we can also use our fist. So when you are taking in your KK2, we are making sure that you are taking the amount that you need. So handy measures can actually help us in controlling our portion sizes. And then one of the strategies that we can also use is our plates. You see that most of the time when you tend to use a bigger plate, you tend to take in more food. So we can also control our sizes by looking at the sizes of our plates that we use, and then being mindful when we are eating. So the brain actually plays a role in eating. So when you are eating, you should be focused on the food that you are eating, so that you should not have any distractions. So let's say if you are eating and then you are watching TV at the same time, the brain is actually picking a signal from your eyes. Your eyes is sending a signal to the brain that this is the activity that you are doing. So your eyes tend to focus. Your brain sends a feedback signal to your body that you are watching TV. Meanwhile, you are eating at the same time. So you tend to eat more. So your brain is not able to get the signal that I'm eating. So when I'm full, the hormone should just come in and say that I'm full, then you stop eating. So avoiding distractions when eating will also help us in controlling our sizes. And then also stopping or listening to our body, so that when you are eating and then you feel full, you know that I'm full, my satiety level is up, so that when there is some of the food in the plate, you will not tend to consume it because you bought the food. So I have to change now.
The food, you know.
Yes. No. So you listen to your body. Yes. So when we do all these things, it will help us in controlling our portion sizes.
But okay, so you made mention of calories, that if you take one glass of fruit juice, you know the amount. So if I have full, for example, paper drink, if I take one bottle, then you tell me that it is 500. If I take another bottle from the same paper drink, am I adding another 500 calories?
Yes. So when it comes to
you understand my question?
Yes.
I buy paper drink full of this. I have a cup. I pour 4 cup. I drink. Example, I've taken 500. If I pour another, the same thing, am I adding another 500?
Yes.
Yes. So when you take the drink that you are saying, we have a label there, which actually gives us the amount of calories that is in the product.
Very good. That is full product.
Yes.
And I'm asking, if it has 1,000, and I take first cup, that is 1,000. If I take another cup, is it the same 1,000 or 2,000?
No.
Is your drink finished?
It's not finished.
Yes, so you're adding on.
Let me also go to take the alcoholic drink. They've written 5% here, 5% here and stuff. If you take one, which contains 5% alcohol, you take the same drink again, another 5%. Have you taken 5% or 10%?
10%. Because you've taken 2 of that.
But the same thing.
But you've taken 2 of
the
that.
same percentage.
They are telling you 1 bottle contains that 5% of alcohol. So if you take 2 bottles, you are giving your body another 5%. So now your alcohol intake is now 10%.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So the portion size, for instance, you made mention of plates. So does it depend on the size of your plate, or irrespective of the size of plates, you can do your portion size? Yvonne.
Okay, so ideally we will go in for the handy measures, because if I've done all my calculations and then and then you are supposed to take 2 steel ladles of rice, I'm not going to look at your plate to give you that, but then I'm going to quantify it based on the steel ladles. So whether your plate is big or is small, you are going to still eat your 2 steel ladles.
You are watching Cafdil television, and this is Cafdil Health Care. We are discussing good eating habits, and I know you are jotting a lot, and from henceforth your style or ways of eating will surely change from here, so you can stay healthy. Now let me come back to you, Yvonne, once again, which means based on what you ladies are saying, you would have to also plan before, isn't it? So what the importance of meal planning and preparation in promoting healthier eating habits? What is its importance? Planning. But if I feel like eating, I go find food, eat. So why should I plan? What's the importance, Yvonne?
Okay, so when it comes to meal planning, we are looking at a scenario where you predetermine the food that you are going to eat, the type of food, and then the quantity. So you plan ahead, maybe for a day or for a week. And when we do that, it actually helps us in giving our body the right amount of food or the right amount of energy that our body needs, so that we are not going to overfeed our body or underfeed our body. It also helps in time management. So if you plan that, oh, tomorrow I'm going to eat this for breakfast, I'm going to eat this for lunch, I'm going to eat this for supper, you know what you are going to eat. So it prevents you from wasting time on what to eat, what to prepare, what to eat at what time. So meal planning actually helps us, one, to save time. It also helps us to save money. So it helps us to save money in the sense that when you plan your meals, you tend to cook them in bulk. So maybe you prepare a stew over the weekend, you are going to eat that with every other food that you get. Please, are you getting it?
Yes.
Yes. So it actually helps in saving time and energy. It also helps in reducing waste of food. Yes, because when you are able to plan, you know that this is what I plan to eat. So that is what I've prepared. You don't just prepare food and then later you realize that, no, I don't like it. So meal planning helps us in saving time, in saving money, and then also in avoiding wastage of food.
I like this one that you brought in, saving money.
Yes.
Because a case can be an old car. I do be a supermarket and while listening them. It will see packet to supermarket and list. If you don't have money, you list. If you have money, you will not list, because anything you can buy at anything.
Yeah, I would like to add.
Yes. I was going to ask you to add something.
So we are saying it also saves time, because sometimes, I don't know if you can attest to the fact that you know you're hungry, but you are just indecisive of what you want to eat.
Yeah.
You can use about 2 hours. Oh, so today what will I eat? Meza bars. 2 hours is gone. Then your body is still wanting, food, and then you are just there. You are still indecisive. And also, I believe meal planning ensures availability of the healthful food options. So, for example, let's say you are conscious about what you have to be eating. So, let's say today, for example, let me use someone who is undergoing weight loss, right? So, the person has planned that from now on, I have to be eating this, that's. So, the person knows that this is the next meal I have to be taking, not the unhealthful food options. So, for example, let me use oats as an example. If the person has planned to eat oats for breakfast the next morning, maybe if the person is coming back from work the previous day and oats is finished in the house, the person will remember to get oats because the person knows that tomorrow morning I have to eat oats or I have to get Tom Brown or I have to, I don't know if I'm
Yes.
because if you wake up and you don't know what to eat, if there's tea, if there's carbonated drinks, you are hungry, so you just go and take that and take because that's what is available.
Of course.
Yes. But if you plan ahead that, oh, I have to be disciplined enough to eat healthy, you would always make sure that foods that are healthy enough are available for you. No matter what, if you are disciplined enough, someone who wants to lose weight, the person is very disciplined. Like the person is so conscious about what the person is taking. So the person won't want to be in a situation where now there's no healthful food, like foods available, and then the person now has to rely on what is just available. For all you know, is some junk food or some carbonated drinks or biscuits or something, and then the person is back to square one.
So is it necessary to also plan for someone who wants to gain weight?
Oh, yes. Yes, it's necessary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So in planning for this meal, what are some of the things that you take into consideration?
For a weight gain or?
Generally, planning.
Well, the planning is not really a technical that maybe do this so that this will be called meal planning. But it all boils down to the fact that you are just supposed to be mindful about what to do next,
Okay.
or about what to eat next.
Okay.
Yes, there's you can develop your own strategy. For example, let's say if you really want to eat well, you can create your own timetable. That's, oh, maybe this morning I'll eat oats. This afternoon I'll get some wache with a lot of vegetables. This evening I'll eat maybe kenke with vegetable salad and then pepper sauce and fish. I mean, you plan what is, but you don't just be spontaneous. If you're hungry, you just go out. Whatever you see, you buy it, you eat.
That's my life. Some of them, you go to their kitchen and they have that kind of meal timetable there.
Yes.
From here.
Yes.
Okay. So if let me chip in this. I'm AB positive. If I ask you to plan something for me, is it expensive? And aside that, what are some of the things that you are going to take into consideration before you plan what I should be eating based on
your blood group? Okay, so first of all, I want to throw this question to you.
Me?
Yes. The foods that, for example, some people say that, oh, I'm O positive. I'm not supposed to take corn meals. I'm sure it's around, right? Weren't you taking the corn when you were a little child? Or are you trying to say from birth, you've never eaten corn in your life? That's the mentality people have started adapting. You've been eating corn, nothing has happened to you. So why is it that when you reach a certain stage in life, you change your mind drastically that you're not supposed to eat corn? If you eat corn, what exactly will happen to you? Honestly speaking, this is my opinion. I don't think diets and blood groups have any linkage. Unless, of course, where you can attest to the fact that if I eat this particular meal, this and this happens to me. But you don't base your perception on what people are saying or some food facts or food fallacies that if I eat this, they are saying O positive or AB should eat this, they should eat this. Yeah, so if you come to me that, oh, I'm AB, please plan a diet for me, I'll first ask you, I'll first take your diet history, honestly, and then I'll ask you, maybe these foods that you've given to me, if you eat them, do you get any reactions? Do you have any allergies? Do you have any food intolerances? Maybe when you eat them, you don't feel so fine. Then you let me know before I can plan. I can't just base my practice on hearsay that people are saying that AB is not supposed to take this or that.
Personally, I have gone to a certain hospital.
Okay.
And like I said, AB positive, they asked me, or they told me not to take corn.
Okay.
Or anything, any food made from corn.
Okay.
But from my infancy, that is my best food, my
Exactly.
favorite.
Have you ever fallen sick from eating?
Never. I never
Exactly.
went there again.
Exactly.
I didn't go there.
And
I
there's
stopped
this
going there.
mentality too that if you grow older, you're not supposed to take eggs.
Yes.
I don't know if you've heard it.
Yes, I've heard it.
Nothing happens to you if you take eggs. We've had patients
They
that
said you shouldn't take the yolk, rather. It is a yolk, but you can take the white.
it is from our training, right? We practice the fact that you cannot take 3 eggs with 3 yolks, but you can take 3 eggs with 1 yolk. In the sense that if you are going to take 3 eggs per day, you will have just 1 egg with 1 yolk per day, because that yolk can provide you with all the necessary nutrients that your body needs for 1 day. But if you want to take another egg, you remove the yolk. If you want to take another egg, you remove the yolk.
What happens if you don't remove?
Then nothing actually happens, but your body is getting more than enough.
Hey, then my body has gotten more than enough, because so that
Nothing Nothing actually happens to you. But if we want to be more technical, for example, if someone has a disease condition, that one we are very strict on that. For example, if someone has high cholesterol levels,
Okay.
or let's say someone has hypertension, we are very cautious about the amount of cholesterol that the body is getting from meals. So with that one, we can advise that you can take eggs, but if you are going to take more than 1 egg per day, you remove the yolk, because the egg yolk contains a good amount of cholesterol. And because of your condition, we don't want the cholesterol to increase beyond what your body needs. Because if it increases to, your disease condition will still persist.
Yes.
You will not start getting the healing or the management you are
Required.
Yeah,
Okay.
you are in search.
All right, our time is drawing closer or nearer, but let me go to Yvonne. You see, we also talk about snacks. People process snack, for instance, and we like, when you are eating, for example, rice and there's no snack that process, then which means, oh, and so yeah, you don't have money and that kind of thing. So I want us I want you to tell us some alternative to that common process snack that people can easily incorporate into their meals or routine.
So first of all, when you say snacks are meals that we eat in between our main meals. So a snack is not something that we are eating to get satisfied on, but we are just eating to fill our body during those periods that we are not going to take our main meals. So let's say when you eat your breakfast in the morning around 7, by 10 we assume that the energy that you took in within those early hours is being replenished. So there's something that should also back in for you. So that's where we take in our snacks. And ideally, we advise that we take in healthy foods. So when we are saying healthy, it means that whatsoever thing that we are taking, our body is benefiting from it. So one of the ways that we can choose healthy snack is to go in for our fruits and then our veggies. So with our fruits, as said earlier, we can take them raw, or we can also channel them into drinks. So instead of going in for the processed drinks, we can choose to take in the fruit juices or the fruit salad. Yes. And then we can also do with the salad. So we can also do cut vegetables, and then we can take it as a snack rather than relying on the processed one, which will in turn give us just sugar and then increase our sugars in our blood.
And we have to also be mindful of eating, right?
Yes.
So how does this mindful eating contribute to overall well-being, you know, and what practices can individuals adapt? Can you and I adapt to become more mindful easier?
Okay, so as I said, it all boils down to the person having enough nutrition education, because you can't blame someone if the person is not eating well. The person doesn't know. The person doesn't know that, oh, eating this over the years will do this to me, or will have some side effects. If the person doesn't know, the person will eat it. But if the person is more conscious, the person knows that, hey, if I take a lot of this or a lot of fried foods, an example, if I take a lot of fried foods, I'm going to get hypertension. Example, I'm just giving examples. I'm going to get hypertension in some few years to come if that is my habit. So it all boils down to discipline, right? If you are disciplined enough, because I can come to you and then talk as we are talking here, we can talk about, you know, healthy eating. But if the people listening to us are not disciplined enough to practice it on their own, then yes, exactly. So if you are mindful about what you are going to eat, you have to be first disciplined. If you are determined that, yes, I want to live healthy, I want to eat healthy, you will. You always make sure that there's going to be healthful food options available, so that you don't get tempted to take these processed snacks and all of that. And to add on to her previous point about how to incorporate them, you realize that these processed foods contain other added sugars, salts, unhealthy fats. But you can't tell me that mango or orange or watermelon has added salt or has added sugar they're all inbuilt. God created it himself. There are no artificial content inside, and that is what our body needs. But if we rely on these processed snacks, every single processed snacks, whether drink, biscuits, no matter the processed foods, it contains salt, because the salt is what is preserving it. So you can't say that, oh, this is drink, there's no salt inside. There's salt inside, there's sodium inside, because that's what preserves it. It makes it sit down on the shelf, or it's increased the shelf life to about 2 years without getting spoiled. It's the salt. So imagine you taking all the salt, the preservatives inside your body for years. It won't be helpful. So
unfortunately, your time is so awesome. But before we leave, Yvonne, I want you to advise my friends, especially those of us who like eating outside. What advice would you give to us?
Okay, so the little advice I will give is that you are what you eat. So bearing in mind you are what you eat, it means that whatever you take into your body, expect the results. Yes. So if you are a fan of eating mostly outside, you should put a stop to it or limit it if possible, because we actually seen a lot of cases now. Kidney disease is on the rise, stroke is on the rise, and most of these conditions happen because people were not careful about what they eat. So something like diabetes, and then hypertension, and then obesity. These are very risk factors that actually lead into the chronic diseases. So my advice is that you are what you eat. So bear in mind that whatsoever you take into your body, you are going to reap the results of it.
Hey, Yvonne, I don't know whether Yvonne is of mommy.
To add on,
yes,
let me add something.
Yeah, you're also going to give your advice.
Yes. So there's one thing I always tell my patients. I know that Ghana has become hard. We are all struggling one way or the other just to survive, right? I feel like it's much better to spend your money on healthful food options than to eat what your money can, maybe the junk food, the snacks. They just buy drink. Well, I had this patient, she says that, oh, when she's hungry, she just buy these carbonated drinks, and then they add bread, and she's okay, because if she's going to buy fruits right now, she's going to spend a lot of money, and she will not be satisfied. But that same money can get her the drink and then the bread, and she'll be very satisfied, right? But if you have this habit for years, you realize that unfortunately you start developing various conditions, and then it's sent you to the hospital, and then you now have to go and look for money to buy drugs, to pay your hospital bill, to buy drips, to buy this, to buy that. Meanwhile, if you had used that money to eat well, you wouldn't have ended in the hospital.
If you had gone to look for the money to eat well.
Exactly. So I always say that let your food be your medicine than your medicine being your food.
Oh,
at the hospital, someone can be on drugs, like the person takes drugs every 30 minutes.
Hey.
Drugs on the bedside, a lot. So it's like the drug has now become the person's food, sort of.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Yvonne, and thank you, Baba, and thank you for also watching. Thank you to all the crew. My name is Kojo Arthur. Same time next week, and I am sure that next week we're going to bring you something which will always be with you and which is going to encourage you to stay healthier. May God be with you till we meet again. Bye-bye.
Sorba, moji mi jezi